What do you think of when you imagine hacking? Maybe this?
It's a Unix system. I know this. Oh, this is it. You got it!
Or maybe this?
45 seconds.
What about this?
He wants me to hack the planet. You've got free long distance on that phone. Forever.
Sure, these scenes are fun. Some might even say iconic. But they always seem to fall flat. A convenient way to overcome a hurdle, a not-so-subtle flex on how this person is better than the best, or just a way to yada yada over how the world hasn't discovered the Earth is literally dying because humans did something stupid. Regardless of why, these scenes always feel flimsy to me, because hacking isn't a character quirk or plot magic. It is, at its core, a digital heist. I mean, the steps are roughly the same. You need to get access to something, ideally for a deeper purpose than it's nice to have money. So you do some reconnaissance and find a suitable way in. It could be infiltrating a system or breaking into a vault, or just tricking a person into giving you access to something that you're not supposed to be able to get to. You need to figure out the best way to exploit this weakness reliably, and ideally pull it all off without anyone suspecting a thing. And of all the films that I've ever seen, there's been only one scene from one film that does hacking right. And it's this scene from Ocean's 8.
Hey, Boo. You poor thing.
This scene is the only scene in all of cinema that I know of that beautifully hits all the points of a heist, but in the context of a hack. In the scene, Nineball has to get into the security company's computers to manipulate the museum's cameras so they can pull off the overall heist relatively unnoticed. She does her homework on the company and finds the ideal staff to target. She does some more research to figure out what his weakness is. In this case, it's the specific Wheaton brand of dog, oddly enough. Except here's where things diverge from a normal heist. Instead of tricking someone into giving her physical access, she just needs to get virtual access by tricking them into clicking a link and letting the software handle the rest. So to do this, she makes a fake website all about his favorite dog to entice him into clicking. The exploit, if you will. And with barely a moment's hesitation, he clicks, and we get a satisfying payoff of watching her play on the computer unencumbered. This scene, in my opinion, is impeccable. The cinematography is on point, the pace is perfect, the music and sound design keep us engaged with the scene while letting us know this is a heist within the bigger heist. And best of all, this is a plausible, legitimate hack with no jargon, no mashing on keyboards, no fighting digital Rubik's Cubes or infiltrating a grid space, just an authentic, real-world hack. Cue Mr. Robot.
I've been in this game 27 years, not once have I ever come across an animated singing virus.
To me, the only implausible part, because of my understanding of cybersecurity, was how quickly she pulled the whole thing off. So why does this scene work so well where others don't? Well, I'm no studio executive. In fact, I'm just a guy behind a computer. But I think it comes back to two choices they made in the setup for the scene. One, what is getting hacked? And two, how they show the hack. Now, first of all, in the defense of pretty much every other film that tries this, hacking is very complicated. To start off, you need to know a lot about computers and what makes them vulnerable. Then you need to know how to apply that to each unique target. And most unfortunate, computers are not known for their overabundance of personality. So when you are a director who needs to quickly explain what is happening, it can be easier to just tell us. The only problem being that this flies in the face of storytelling's golden rule of show, don't tell. But what makes the scene different is they didn't choose to hack a faceless machine, but instead a person. Suddenly, the scene is easier to follow because the target's expressions and actions inform the situation. The company site, the social media account, the on-screen behaviors help paint a picture of who this person is and why Nineball is able to exploit them. And more interestingly and possibly painfully, it's a situation any of us could find ourselves in. I mean, social engineering is still considered one of the most common and effective ways to hack just about anything because it relies on attacking the weakest part of a system's security, the person. Every time a Nigerian prince sends you an email, you are one click away from ending up like this guy on screen. So suddenly, this goes from being something super abstract to extremely personal. And this actually leads us into the second reason this scene works so well, because you can relate to the logic behind the hack. Sure, Nineball is a sophisticated hacker, and also Rihanna, so you should be impressed with her abilities. But what makes the scene work is what makes the entire movie work. Sandra Bullock and her crew aren't expert thieves because of how they use technology. They're experts because of how they use people. Up until this point, we have seen the crew play all sorts of cons on people to go places and get things they will need to pull off the heist. It's a pattern the movie has established in different contexts. So, in this scene, even if you don't understand computers or anything special about hacking, you still understand people and how well the crew can play those people. In this way, we can follow along with Nineball's actions. This pattern, and the act of hacking the person instead of a machine, allows the director to show us a hack instead of just telling us she's in. I mean, they show and don't tell so hard that there's no dialogue in this scene at all. Only the subtle and sometimes not so subtle emotes from Nineball and the head of security, which speak to the motivation without spoon-feeding us exposition. And I really hope more directors learn from this excellent example, because I've watched it a million times editing this video and I'm still not tired of it. But let us know what you think. Do you agree? Disagree? Do you have a heist scene you'd like us to break down? If so, leave us a comment below and we'll see you next time.